Ladies and gentlemen, on this video here today, we want to go through step by step on why I feel strongly that Moses Wetangula and of course President William Samoei Arap Ruto are the source of the Kenyans' problems. The source of most of the problems that we're experiencing as far as governance is concerned. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, why am I saying that Moses Wetangula and William Ruto are the sources of problems that we have in this country? Let me take you back slightly. In the year 2007, after the post-election violence, we had a government that was formed. This government was led by President President Mwai Kibaki, and of course, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who was the Prime Minister by then. Now, these people, they had a parliament just like William Ruto has it right now. But the problem was, in parliament, Raila Amolo Odinga had the majority. And then Kibaki had the minority. As a result of that, we had Raila Amolo Odinga taking control of the National Assembly. And there are so many things that came out of that parliament, which Kenyans up to right now, we are enjoying. We are enjoying. At that time, it didn't matter the age of the parliamentarians. It didn't matter how long you've been in power. All those parliamentarians had the one ambition: to make Kenya a different country, a better country. And during that time, just the same way it is happening in William Ruto's time, we had bills taken to parliament for discussion, for debate. We had laws coming out of that parliament. We had the president suggesting some few things here and there to be done in parliament. And all those things happened, and as a result, Kenyans benefited immensely. Why am I giving a history by referring to after the 2007, the 2008 parliament? This is the reason as to why I'm doing so. When we look at Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, when they took power in 2013, we had a better country. A country with a vision of 2030. A country which had a stable economy, a rising one. A country where people had money in their pocket. A country that people wanted a change and a better change for the future. But now, upon these two guys coming on board, that's William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, we had Kenya getting into a huge amount of debt. Kenyans now started suffering the issue of lack of money in their pocket. The economy of Kenya started changing with two ambitious and, of course, leaders that were not wise at that time. But, of course, Uhuru Kenyatta later on realized, no, Kenya is not heading to the right direction. And we saw tremendous changes, especially in the infrastructure of this country. Now, after a series of challenges that we experienced in 2013, 2017 to 2022, William Ruto came into power with his men. Where the men, I mean the young parliamentarians. Not all of them are young, of course, but most of them are young parliamentarians. Now, these parliamentarians have been getting laws, bills from the executive simply to discuss and pass them as laws. Just the same way it used to happen during Kibaki's time. When William Ruto realized that the Azimio had the majority, he had to use unscrupulous means to ensure that he has taken the majority part of parliament. And that is the moment I realized that Kenya is going to suffer. And indeed, after that, we have seen demonstrations in this country against the finance bills, especially 2024 and 2023. And as a result of that, we have seen Kenyans right, left, and center complaining of lack of money in their pockets. As a result of that, we have seen Kenyans now less hopeful about the future of this country. We have seen Kenyans complaining of increased unemployment. Kenyans complaining of high bills to pay. Kenyans complaining of highest taxation ever in this country. And, of course, low rates of development across the country. And most surprising one, it is the increased debt, despite of the high taxation that has been introduced in the country. Taking the majority in parliament. The courts of Kenya have gone through the process. And I've come out to determine that there was a problem and there's new people at the majority. But regardless of the court orders, regardless of the law of Kenya, of the constitutional requirement, Wetangula goes ahead to announce officially that the majority side belongs to Kenya Kwanza. Where does that kind of an announcement put the country? The same way it happened from 2022, it will keep happening. And scrupulous bills are going to be brought in parliament and they'll be passed by the majority side. And you're going to see Kenya going to suffer and more and more. We are going to see the executive being reluctant on bringing reforms to change this country. Travel is going to happen. We are going to see stalled projects across the country because there's no proper oversight from the Parliament of Kenya. That is basically what I feel strongly is the problem of this country. Where Wetangula decides to go against the law, the president supports him, and eventually we realize that laws are being passed in Parliament which are affecting the country negatively. That means the two people are leading the two institutions of government selfishly, in that they just want to benefit themselves. Because how do you feel that, how is it possible that you feel insecure with the bills you're going to bring into Parliament and fear that the majority might deny them, yet you have the idea to change this country? That means very well that the idea you have in mind, it's basically to bring bills that are going to benefit themselves. How am I saying that these bills are just benefit themselves? I mean, if we look back slightly, there was Finance Bill 2023, which brought housing levy, and of course it brought also many other laws that Kenyans currently, or taxes Kenyans currently are complaining about. Let me go specifically to about the housing levy. Recently, we had the release that Aidin, the gentleman who was deported from this country by President Uhuru Kenyatta's security agencies in the name of funding terrorism, being given a huge tender, alleged to be given a huge tender in the house constructions in this country, which is being funded by Kenyans by the housing levy. That is a clear indication that all these leaders are simply having all these projects to benefit themselves and their friends. So as a result, whether we like it or not, Kenyans are going to suffer so long as Aidin is benefiting, and of course his friend. That shows some of these bills that are passed in Parliament are self-centered to the leaders in power. As we speak today, if you look at it keenly, the UDA members of Parliament are very rich. They have money in their pockets. They're able to give huge contributions in funerals, in churches, simply because they have money. What is the source of this money that they are getting? The major faces of Kenya's problems is President William Ruto and Moses Wetangula for lack of respect for the rule of law. And that is basically what is happening in this country. That's why we are saying that whoever comes to power must be somebody in 2027 who respects the constitution. If nobody respects the constitution of the Republic of Kenya, then most things are going to go wrong. Like we are seeing right now, SHA failing, this and that not working. And actually you won't get the favor of God when you do not respect the rule of law, which was established by the people of Kenya and accepted by the people of Kenya. My name is Abel Mukwa. I don't know what you see as the source of problem, but I feel strongly that that is the source of problem of this country. Let me see kindly your comments on the comment section. And for those who always like subscribing, please, thank you so much. Keep subscribing, keep liking. And of course, for those who want to support my channel, my number is always here. See you next time for more videos.